It's back open attack. Yeah, this is just a nice little extra video for you guys, I guess.
We're opening the packs.
Yeah, we're gonna
Kyle
open,
bought 40.
Yeah, we're gonna open 40 packs.
And was Kyle already said, duh? I just pressed space and it did that. Now we don't have to click and shit.
Okay. Rare. Ooh.
Feral Spirit. That is a must-have in any Shaman deck. Two
Oh,
of
wow.
them.
Oh,
wow.
shit.
Kyle, the first one
The
did
first
had
pack.
cool stuff in
The
it.
first pack is awesome stuff. So 2 Feral Spirits. These are excellent Shaman cards. Yeah. Oh, I love them so much.
Yeah, they're just 2/3 spirits with taunt, and they look cool, and they're all like, "Woo!" They howl, which is a bonus.
Jungle Panther is a great all-class beast. Very, very good.
We can
And I've actually never used the
It's
Thrallmar
bad. It's pretty
Farseer. Yeah.
bad.
If you could buff it, I think it would be good. Like maybe
Let's just talk
maybe in
about
a
the
warrior
rare
deck.
cards, though. The rare, because like,
No, we should talk. We should talk about.
Because then this video will be like 5 hours long.
Whatever.
So the Black Knight battle cry, destroy an enemy minion with taunt. That's really good.
Yeah, that is really good. All right.
Yeah. Just literally just destroy anything.
Boom.
Boom.
Golden.
We can disenchant that for a lot.
Mind control tech. Oh.
I hear that it's good, and I've lost to it numerous times.
Yeah.
I'd be like fucking druid. I'd have three creatures, and then my 8/8 treant taunt thingy, and he stole it. He fucking stole that, and he won because I had like fucking 15 health left.
Yeah.
And he just doubled
So
it.
it's a bit RNG, but like sometimes you get lucky and you steal a good one. But it's a 3/3 for 3. So as far as like a card is concerned, it's pretty good on its own, right?
It's it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not the
Light
greatest.
Spawn, we didn't talk about Light Spawn. Light Spawn's pretty good.
Yeah, but I thought we were gonna talk about only the rares.
Okay, yeah. Whatever, Kyle. I thought it was uncommon.
Contradict yourself.
Uncommon.
Whoa. Wow, this is good packs. Okay, so I do have one of these. I haven't used them yet. Give a beast +2 attack and immune this turn. So now that I have 2 of these, I might consider basing a deck around that.
I can see how this would be like good for combos, because essentially you could trade without, and you lose a card, and they lose a card technically because they lose the creature, and your creature doesn't die. But it's only a 1 cost, which means that it's.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I haven't used it. I haven't
think
seen it be used at all.
Yeah, neither have I. I've never seen this, but I think it could be good. I think it could be really good.
I haven't. Okay, Demolisher. I haven't even seen that in any deck.
Really?
Like, it's good.
I
It's
see
really
it-
good in Arena.
I
but
see it
once
a
you
lot
see it-
in Paladin decks because they tend to have a lot of creatures on the board, so it's really easy to keep it alive, and it just does a lot of damage. But at the same time, I still
RNG.
think it's like.
RNG.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's interesting. Mana Addict, I don't like this card.
I don't
at
like
all.
it either.
And that's gain
It's
plus
like a
2
bad
attack.
mana word
Like if
for
you gain +2 attack permanently, then it would be really good.
Yeah,
It would be
even
awesome.
if it was +1 attack permanently, that would be like perfect. 2 for that sounds great. But this, it's like if you use a spell, you're already losing a card,
Yeah.
and so you assume that you're killing something with that spell or doing something, and so you shouldn't even have to attack. And oh no, you do 2 extra damage to my main health. Oh no, ow, that's not like a huge concern.
Yeah. Sense Demons is pretty.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
And then Argent Squires,
Yeah, it's
Divine Shield
craps.
1/1. This is pretty good.
It's bad. Yeah.
Next pack. Whoopsh. Slam. Just one rare. Blessed Champion. Double a minion's attack.
Well, Kyle's.
She looks weird. Is it just me, or is that like?
It's their face.
Yeah. Her face looks weird.
Is it a girl? I thought it was a dude at first.
Loot Hoarder is a great card.
But I don't know
for
if
card
in
draw.
like top tier decks, do you see that?
Loot Hoarder?
Like 3. We're talking about 3-star master, so Kyle can say.
Yeah, I
vouch
do.
whether
I
he's
actually
used
do
it a lot.
see.
Wrath is really good because you can either deal 1 damage, finish something off, and it doesn't cost you a card because you get a card, or you could deal 3 damage for 2, which is essentially a fucking frostbolt. Right?
Yeah.
So this is essentially an amazing frostbolt that can do other shit.
The kid.
Blessing of Wisdom. People say, like, I don't know, I've heard people don't like it, but this is, like, I think it's such a good card, because even if you're behind, you put it on one of their creatures, one of their big creatures, and now they don't want to attack with it, because you get a card. So, like, why not? It's good when you're ahead and when you're behind, and that's why I think it's a good card.
Yeah, Noble
Hi,
Sacrifice.
Queenie.
I think is. I
Kyle.
don't really like Noble Sacrifice. I like Redemption. I think is the best Paladin secret. So.
Yeah.
All right, next. Blam.
Oh, we got an epic. Oh, it's a
Hunger
Hunger Crab! That's
Damn
like
Hungry
the
Crab.
worst epic ever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
Only really good in Warlock Murloc decks, I think. The Hungry Crab.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I could try it. Ravenholt Assassin. I like this card. It's interesting. The 7/5 stealth.
Wait, Hungry Crab would be really... Wasn't there a new card? Did you see that? It's like... Oh, fuck, you haven't seen it. I don't know how to describe it. Basically, you... Like, when you play it, it gives you a creature, and then you have a 1 in 3 chance of getting, like...
Is it?
You get 1 card out of 3.
Is it one of the BlizzCon cards?
It might be. You know what? I don't know. It sounds like it... Okay, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about it.
Let's not talk about this random card that we know nothing about and don't know what it's called.
Yeah. I just saw it on the main page.
Yep.
It was like, new card.
So these
But
are...
again, one of the cards that you get is summon 3, 4, 5 Murlocs. Possibly. So I'm saying that it might be good in that deck. That's why I brought it up, because I'm like, that's relevant.
Yeah.
Inner Fire, Kyle doesn't...
Inner Fire's kind of cheesy. Like, I like it because my very first deck was based around this card, so I have a lot of experience with it. But at the same time, unless you use it to get lethal or use it like on a small creature just to like buff it, like they're good on light wells, right? Like if you have light wells in your deck, then Inner Fire's great.
It's like
then you can
double the health, and then Inner Fire, and then you polymorph it, and, and then they leave the game.
Yeah. And then it's QQ time for the...
Yeah, it's any combo that requires you to put a lot of cards into like a creature. It's really cheesy.
Yeah. Anyway, so Eldor Peacekeeper. We talked about this card in our last PlayStation.
I think you should get 2 in any Paladin deck. They can basically make any card like useless.
Yeah, they neuter your big creatures. Yeah. Shadow Step is like I was actually screwing around with Rogue, and it's return a friendly minion to your hand, and it costs 2 less. So if you use this with the Defias Ringleader or whatever, you can play it again instantly, and it has the combo. So it's a decent.
I would just be scared about the card because it's basically just like.
Which is why you need
it's also good
to use it
battle cries.
You need to use it with things that have battle cries or combo abilities. So it is a really good card if you use it properly.
So basically, in aggressive decks, you'd want it.
Fen Creeper is always good. 3/6 taunt.
I'm not sure. I think I think the Shield Master you should always get over like Fen Creeper. I don't think Fen Creeper is going to be in.
I think the Fen Creeper you would take just to like. I don't know if you had like your mana curve if you wanted more 5-cost creatures.
Yeah, but that's not an issue in like 3-star Master in yours. In your like division. Like they're not gonna be like, oh, I don't have enough 5-drops. They're gonna be like, okay, I need better combo cards, and I can have all these to choose from.
True. Although Fen Creeper I'd say is like
Fen Creeper is not even good in Arena, so like, how is it good in like 3-star Master?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
I've had success with this card, but I don't think like Kern brings up a good point there. It's not.
It's like a 5 for a 3/6 or a 4 for a 3/5.
If they buffed Fen Creeper, if they made it like a 3/7 or a 3/8, then it would totally be worth it.
Yeah.
So buff it.
I think,
Do it, Blizzard. Buff Fen Creeper for me so that it can be a good card.
Yeah.
Temple Enforcer.
Do you like that?
I kind of do. I have one in Boyish Charm, but I would probably get rid of it for another Cabal Shadow Priest.
Oh, yeah.
But having a 6/6 in there is pretty nice, and you get to give a creature 3 health, plus 3 health.
Sick. And then Sacrifice,
Noble
talked about.
Yeah. All the cards.
Whoa.
Patient Assassin. I actually just disenchanted one of these to afford the upgrade to the Shaman deck.
Yeah. I think it's good.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a stealth. It's basically the same thing as a.
Because only Hunter can like remove stealth, and it's very rare that they would have a flamer, right?
Exactly. So basically, you get to kill a creature with this.
Yeah. So it's basically a 2-cost that can kill anything, as long as they can't remove it next turn.
Yeah, or AOE. Like an AOE,
but
damage
they would
spell
have to
will kill
like,
it.
and even like the ones that would kill it, like very few mages would have like an arcane explosion. They would have a fucking flame strike or blizzard, and you wouldn't want to waste it on like that shit.
Exactly.
Bad.
I really love the weaponsmith.
Yeah.
It's a Battlecry equip a 2/2 weapon for like 4 cost. I think it's pretty damn good value.
I think it's good too.
Yeah.
A quality. I haven't seen it in like high level play, but you can be really cheesy with it and pair it with consecration. So make all the like health of the minions 1 and then kill them
Yeah, exactly.
2 area.
Very, very good.
Perfect.
Priestess of Elune, I've
I
never
don't-
really seen this used.
yeah.
I don't think it's a good card.
I don't think it's his.
Power of the Wild. Is,
I always see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So summon a 3/2 Panther or give all your minions +1/+1. So it's got this dual purpose kind of thing.
And that's what Druid is about.
Yep.
Choose this or this depending on this. So.
Depending on your situation.
Lightning Storm must
Ooh.
have.
Yeah.
Druid of the Claw must have in any shaman, and then Druid. Earthshock, you normally
Actually, I don't think Druid of the Claw is a must-have for Druid, because I've seen a lot of spell power Druids that don't use Druid of the Claw.
Okay, but in non-spell power, they're really good though. Like
Yeah.
no matter what,
Yeah.
like a 4/4 charge or a 4/6. I normally see the 4/6 taunt when people play
You
it.
do see the Druid of the Claw in most
I think it's a really good
Druid
card.
decks. Yeah, it is. It is.
Lightning Storm, I think that's a must-have in shaman, and Earthshock, at least one of you should.
Is this the silence then?
Yeah, it's a silence,
yeah,
and then deal
silence,
1
yeah.
damage to it.
Earthshock I like more than Frostshock. Frostshock freezes, and I think silence is more useful than freeze most of the time.
And Demon Fire, I've seen it before.
Yeah, Demon Fire is okay,
Deal 2
and
damage.
Young Dragonhawk
Let's
is
not even talk about that.
because it's only
It's
really good
shitty.
in UTH
It's
decks,
really
and that's
cheesy.
Unleash the Hounds,
Yeah.
which apparently is going to get nerfed soon. So. Oh, there! Look at that's Unleash the Hounds. So this is what I was just talking about. Give your beast +1 attack and charge.
How are they gonna nerf it, you think?
What I'd like to see is give a beast and the adjacent beasts +1 in charge.
Oh,
So you couldn't do it on 6, you could do it on 3 tops.
Okay.
Which I
that
think
makes
would be
sense.
fair, honestly.
Well, total 7 you could do. Right? 7 creatures on the board?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Best
I
case
like
scenario.
that better. Or you can make it more expensive.
Mhm.
Make it like a 3 drop.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah, either one. Freezing Trap. I kind of like this. Like, whenever I see it, well, it's probably not in high level decks. But have you seen it?
I have seen it a few times, but honestly, I don't think it's
Good.
as useful as, say, like...
I just know that if I get it, if someone uses that on me, it basically removes that card from the game because it will never be like an efficient drop anymore.
Exactly, because it costs 2 more to play.
Because
It's just
any card that you see here, if you add it on 2, pretty much useless until it's end game.
And honestly, I've never seen it go onto anything above 9. So
That
if it was
would
like a
be
9 or
hilarious.
10 cost that you couldn't play anymore.
Ysera, bye-bye.
Yeah, you just can't play it. Molten Giant is epic card. It's costs 1 less for
That's
each.
my favorite of the giants that you can
Each
get.
damage your hero has taken. So in a Warlock deck, this is particularly good because you're burning your health a lot, right, to draw cards.
Essentially below 10 health, it's free.
It is.
Or 10 and
It-
below.
it is
health.
free.
It is free. That's what
Yeah.
I meant. That's what I said. Azure Drake is really good, especially in I think Mage deck, because it's draw a card
And
so,
spell power.
and spell power, and it's a 4/4, which
spell
is good
damage,
against good against priest.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a good.
An Ancient Brewmaster, this is one of those great all-class common cards. Like, before you do anything, before you go and spend any amount of money, this is one of the cards that you should buy, or with your dust, rather.
I think there's another.
Yeah,
Brewmaster.
the Youthful Brewmaster is a
And-
2-cost 3/2 that does the same thing. It returns a friendly minion from the battlefield to your hand.
So that means you can
Re-battle cry.
Yeah,
So
re-battle
if
cry. And I would-
you Ancient Brewmaster back your Azure Drake, you can draw another card, essentially.
But I would think that the other Brewmaster might be better because it's easier to
It is,
combo.
it is.
So
Because it's
you might not want to use that one.
Ooh,
Baron
Baron
Geddon.
Geddon. I actually have Baron Geddon already. At the end of
Wow,
your
that's
turn,
cool.
deal 2 damage to all other characters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Very good, very good. Alarmobot is an interesting. I think.
I hate it. It's
I think-
really bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad. It's interesting, but it's bad. Any battle cry, if you have any card in your hand that has battle cry, any creature, then you can't play it because it might end up screwing up, and it's not.
So
it's-
I think really the only
bad.
use for Alarmobot would be in a Druid deck that had massive late game potential, only an only legendary deck or something. So a more cheesy deck. This isn't for a well-rounded deck. This is just
I think it's
a jokey
just
card.
overall bad for
Yeah.
every deck that I can conceive of.
yeah. Shield Slam is. I haven't actually found a use for this yet. I have.
Because it
I have
seems
one
like it's
already.
only a good card if you're head, and you should never build your deck based on whether you're
Mhm.
it's a good card if you're head. You should be. It's hard to explain.
And you could use it. You could combo it with shield block though. So
Oh, yeah,
shield
that's
block
true.
is gain 5 armor and then do.
So
you
that's
know,
basically 4.
So it would be a 5 damage nuke for essentially 4 mana cost
and
and
only
2
costs you
cards.
1 card.
Oh yeah, and you would draw a
Yeah.
card essentially. So yeah,
So,
it would only
okay,
really
that
cost you
makes
1
sense.
card. So this could be comboed really well. Also, you have like stuff like the armor smith and
Okay. Oh, okay.
there,
Yeah, that
there's
makes
there's a
sense.
couple of good ways to make it work. I just
Yeah.
don't see it very often. So, you know, I think it has its place. It just hasn't really been defined yet. Unbound Elemental, we've seen that.
Really
with
good
the,
in Shaman.
yeah, really
If
good
you're
in Shaman.
going for like an overload deck, which is really good. And Berserker, I like that. It's a really good 2-drop.
Mhm.
One of my favorites. Especially if you're mage. For obvious reasons. Ping it
Ah,
and it gets 3 attack.
Yep.
This is my
Ooh, sea
one of my
giants, so I'm
least
getting a lot of
favorite
giants.
sea giants. Because like
Costs 1 less for each other minion on the battlefield.
I don't
So
like
I
it.
think the
'Cause, you know,
giants
at
the
most
giants
it's
are
gonna
really
be-
good in warlock decks, and this would be great in a paladin deck as well because you tend to have a lot of creatures on the board, right? So
Yeah, but at any point in time, do you really have that many? Like, if you have a whole bunch of creatures on the field, you're more likely to be ahead. So, like, it would just make sense to put something else in. Because it only works if you're ahead, basically. Or if you're really... I don't know. I just don't like it. Because, like, you're not going to have a lot of creatures on the field anyway. So it's basically a 7 or an 8 cost for an 8/8. You might as well have something else.
yeah, I
Inherent
suppose.
to your deck.
Yeah.
Like, this is, again, one of my least favorite, like, giants. It's just not good.
Lightning bolt, 3 damage overload. We were talking about this before. Somebody compared this to the Magic the Gathering's lightning bolt. The 1 cost, deal 3 damage. But I'd argue that this overload, this addition of an overload, is, you know, it's great. It makes the card balance. I think in Magic the 1 cost 3 damage was broken as hell, but the overload makes it completely, you know, sometimes you might not want to use it because then you don't have a play next turn, etc., etc. Blizzard, pretty
cool.
straightforward. Deal 2 damage to all enemy minions and freeze them.
So that's pretty good. Slam, I've seen that in like every
Yeah,
warrior
slam.
deck.
Slam is a great warrior card.
And
Deal
you have
2
to-
damage if the minion survives. Draw a card. So if let's say your enemy or the enemy minion has 5 health, and you have Fiery War Axe equipped, you slam it first and then you kill it with the Fiery War Axe. The wiry 4-axe.
The
Yeah,
wiry
that's
thorax. The Venture Co-Mercenary is like one of the best, like really good card in Arena. Because like, you know, it's makes all your minions cost 3 more, but next turn you're probably only going to need to play 1 minion to keep ahead.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it takes so much because it's turn 6 that they have to deal with a 7/6, and if they don't deal with it, then you're like, it's just a fucking good card.
Especially
I like
if you can coin it out, get it out.
Yeah.
So you want to get this thing out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, it's good. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it is good card. Good card.
Oh, Disenchant Time. Ancestral Spirit. Do you see that being used in any shaman deck?
Choose a minion. When that minion is destroyed, return it to the battlefield.
There isn't... I'm trying to think of, like, the big shaman cards. So there's Earth Elementals,
Yeah.
which you might want to bring back.
Yeah, fire elemental.
Fire Elementals. And
Mana Tide, maybe.
Earth Elemental, you can avoid the overload cost by getting Ancestral Spirit.
I think with Shaman, you tend to go through your creatures. Like, they'll die
Imagine,
a lot. So
yeah,
this
but-
isn't always really good. But
But
if you were to build a Shaman deck around bigger creatures, I think this would be
Yeah, but you're
almost
always going to have,
essential.
like, an Earth Elemental. So if you did cast it on that Earth Elemental and it died, you just get another one back without any overload costs. Because
Yeah.
they're expensive. So I don't know whether that would work, but it sounds like it would be okay. Okay, so all these cards are amazing.
Actually, yeah, every
Arena
single
cards.
one of these are all, like, they're, you can see all class, all class,
Yeah.
all class. These are actually 4 really good all class cards.
These are the ones that you would pick in Arena,
Yeah.
like, instantly. Like,
Yeah.
if you got a Berserker or Dragon, really good. And Raging
I'd
Guardian
say
is
in
pretty good.
order, Fairy Dragon, probably Berserker, then Silver Moon, then Raging.
Okay, I
So
don't know
like
if you could
this.
order them,
Yeah.
because it would really depend on the class, but
Yeah, I suppose.
they're all really
Yeah.
good.
As a rule
They're
of
just
thumb.
favorite because the one's a dragon and it's pretty. Oh, wow! We've
2
had
light
all these
spawns.
again.
Yeah. So
Demolish
these aren't.
Room,
Yeah.
Same ones. Demolisher. We
Live
haven't talked
by
about the
Stealth.
tiger. In I don't know.
You know, I've seen
call
some
it?
hunter decks
Hunter
based
decks
around
that would have-
the stealth creatures. So,
and then they would unleash the hounds.
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
basically dead.
Exactly. But they could keep them
Or
hidden.
you could give it Wind
They
Fury.
could keep
even.
them hidden until they had a.
Wind Fury and unleash the hounds and all the cool stuff.
You can't give Hunter. Hunter has nothing that gives Wind Fury. That's Shaman you're thinking
that is
of.
Right. You are correct.
Demolisher
sure?
we see
Yeah.
already. Yep.
Right. That would be so OP.
Next pack. That was a bad pack. Ooh, Armor Smith. So this is what I was talking about before. Whenever a friendly minion takes damage, gain 1 armor. So it's, it can work really well, and it has its moments.
Okay, Dust Devil. Can we talk about Dust Devil?
Yeah, you can.
This is like, if you get this card right away, even if it's a 1 cost, you don't want it like in your starting hand. If you even had this in your deck, it's only really good if you have a taunt that you can hide behind, paired with the Flame Tongue Totem can do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of like RNG. Like it's a lot of
a lot of
chance.
things have to go right
Chance.
for this card to work properly, which makes it not worth it most of the time.
And if you're against a fucking, mage,
Yeah,
basically anything can kill it really quickly.
Yeah.
Soul of the Forest, I think having at least one of these in a deck is pretty nice. They're really cool.
Yeah.
It's like cool. If you have like 3 creatures on the board, it paid for itself easily.
Essentially giving you 3 creatures of it, and it's great for maintaining board presence too, right?
Too. It's like cool Flame Strike. Now I have 3 2/2s.
Yeah, Fairy Dragon, Loot Hoarder, we talked about those already. So
Pretty good against mage.
Boom, next pack. Oh, another Soul of the Forest, another mana addict.
Don't even have Failing or Flesh Eating Ghoul is really good in arena.
Yeah. Conceal, I've never seen this used great. So it's give your units stealth until the next turn. Demon Fire we poked on
next
already.
pack.
Yeah, next pack.
You can just go through the ones that Eviscerate, you kind of have to. Flare is what we were talking about before with stealth. It's like Hunter's the only one that could remove it and destroying enemy secrets. I don't know, is it? You could just use it to draw, like...
I don't think you would ever have more than one of these in the deck.
Because essentially, like, you can trade it in for another card for the cost of 1. Or you can just, destroy stealth and the secrets and all that fun stuff. So it has a purpose against every class. Because if one class doesn't have secrets, then they'll probably have, maybe stealth, like Rogue. Eviscerate, you always have.
Good rogue card, yeah.
Mark of Nature, I think you should always have. It's really good. +4 attack or +4 attack or health and taunt, which is pretty good.
Yeah, Mad Bomber is a little bit RNG. Deal 3 damage randomly split between all other characters. So this includes the enemy heroes and your hero. So
Also,
you could end up getting a really good bomber who kills a creature, like a 3 damage creature, or you could have one who throws 3 bombs on you and deals 3 damage to you. So I actually really don't like this card.
I like it.
Yeah,
it works so well in arena because like even if it doesn't hit anything, normally there's a good chance that it will. Molten Giant. Summoning Portal, I've never seen used well. Have you?
I have actually. I think there's 2 kinds of Warlock decks. Ones that are based on really small creatures and ones that are based on really big creatures. If you have one that's based on really big creatures, chances are you have 2 Summoning Portals in there.
Okay,
in which case they cost 2 less.
Snipe is actually in Kyle's Hunter deck.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not in it?
No, it's not in.
What's in it?
I talked about I have 2 explosive traps, 1 snake trap, and 1 misdirection. I talk about Snipe briefly though, because snake trap is one that a trap that I like to play immediately or as quickly as I can. Like I will not put a creature on the board to put snake trap up if I can.
Yeah.
And it feigns Snipe because when you see a secret like that, you think, now I can't play a card because
But you would
it'll
never
die.
play Snipe because on a turn 2, you would never play something large enough for it to be worth it. I would play Snipe.
It only deals 4 damage. This is to get rid of an early game creature. You never want Snipe to not kill something. If Snipe doesn't kill something, it didn't do its job. You always play Snipe early game.
I disagree. Because if it's later, then you can trade with it even.
No, I would say that's a misuse of the card.
Okay, you can say that.
I will say that.
Go ahead.
All right, Sense Demons, we touched on that already. Rampage, give a damaged minion +3/+3, which I don't know. It's got its use. I think in a if you had Injured Blade Master in your warrior deck or something like that, it's a good buff. It's +3/+3 for 2, so definite value in that, I think. Murloc Tidehunter.
This kind of looks bad. Let's just skip this. Frost Elementals, I see.
I like Frost
I like it a
Elemental.
lot.
Yeah,
And
free.
it's an all class. You'll have it. You'll
And
get
you,
it.
it also is freeze at character, right? So if you're against a warrior, you can freeze that warrior.
Yeah, and the rook.
Yeah.
So it's really good against yeah.
Weapon
classes.
wielding classes.
But
yeah.
is
I
it
should close that door.
what is it? Water Elemental? Is it Frost What's
Water Elemental is the mage one that
freezes
that when creatures are dealt a
when it deals damage
Yes,
to a
when-
creature or character,
character,
it freezes
yes.
them. I prefer that in a mage deck. Over
yeah
Frost
those are
Elemental.
pretty good.
Murloc Tidecaller. Okay, we're not talking about Murloc decks because neither of us have one.
Yeah.
Eye for an Eye is pretty shitty, I think.
I think if you were to in a situation where they only have one creature and that creature were to deal lethal damage to you or him, so against a priest that does the inner fire thing, it would be, but I don't know if you still
I
lose.
think you should. I think it
I
does
don't
because
know.
it probably applies to you first.
I don't know.
Okay, we'll see. Thought Steal. I see that card.
Yeah,
I don't-
Thoughtsteal's great. Copy 2 cards from your opponent's deck and put them into your hand.
So it's essentially an arcane intellect.
Yeah, but the other thing you got to keep in mind too is this actually adds cards to your deck to the essentially each one of these extends your card pool by 1 because Thoughtsteal itself gets replaced by another card plus you get 1 on top of that. So if you have 2 of these in your deck and you use both of them, your deck becomes a 32 card deck instead of a 30 card deck. And the Thoughtsteal is essentially not there.
The downside, kind of, is that you don't get, like, cards that would probably combo with your own. Because you have to assume that your cards in your deck are good for your deck.
Yeah.
And other cards in other decks are good for their deck and not yours, which is why you don't have them in your deck. At the same time, you could get Flame Strike and, Polymorph and all the shit that seems
specifically good against
all
mage
the
because
time.
you steal the removal and it's great.
And it's
Silence a minion. I actually don't like this. I would take a Mass Dispel over Silence any day of the week. There's not another Unleash the Hands. This is Redemption. This is what I'm talking about. When one of your minions dies, return it to life with 1 health. Now, Corinne and I were actually talking about this on our way to
here.
the location that we're recording. Of whether or not this is good, and I think that this is a great secret. I think this is the best Paladin secret. If you're gonna try a Paladin deck with secrets, start with this one. And it's just because it maintains the board presence. There's only 3 classes that are really good against this, and that's Mage, Druid, and Rogue. And that's just because they have that extra removal. But at the same time, they're already good against Paladin, so this just makes them have to do another step to clear the board. Yeah, so Harvest Golem is an amazing all-class card. Amazing.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, so when it dies, it summons a 2/1
always
golem.
pick it no matter what if you see it in arena. Like, it's cool. It's like 2/3 and it dies.
Unless it's up against a Chillwind
Basically,
Yeti.
no spells will be able to deal with it, and silencing it seems kind of like a waste.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, it is. Oh, totally.
It's like, cool, you Frostbolt it now. It's a 2/1.
Yeah.
There's like nothing that you can effectively deal with.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. Harvest Golem, cool.
Savagery.
They should make more of them.
Deal damage equal to your hero's attack to a minion. That's weird. So I think this would be good if you had like Bite in your deck and Claw or whatever, because you would Bite and then you would use Savagery so that you could remove 2 things instead of 1. But aside from that, I think it's like on its own, it's not that great.
Yeah. I haven't seen it. It's terrible.
Imp Master. At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to this minion and summon a 1/1
The
imp.
one time I saw that use wall, someone innervated it out on turn 1. And
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
Now I have to deal with
Damn
this
it!
army of imps.
God! And I lost so badly.
I see it used in Warlock decks. The effective Warlock decks always have Imp Masters.
Do they?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, because of
it just
the imps. Little impies.
yeah, little impies, and
Yeah,
it's
1/2.
yeah, exactly
It's
the
an army of 1/2s.
yeah, exactly. So your blood imps buff the imps in here, and not to mention the blood imps also raise the health cap on the imp master, so you get more imps out of the imp master. Worgen, we talked about freezing trap, conceal, ice barrier, is a subject of some debate with us. We're not sure whether or not this card is actually good. It's whenever your hero is attacked, gain 8 armor. So it's essentially 3 cost for 8 health. and I don't know. It feigns it like it's a secret, so at the same time you're like, is it vaporize? Is it spellbender? Is it counterspell?
Or the other one, that's my favorite.
Yeah, I see mage's role with this, but I've never lost to somebody who used ice barrier. So, like specifically because of ice barrier. So I don't know. Somebody.
What is it? Mirror Entity? Is that the other secret?
Yeah.
Mirror Entity is like the best out of any secret. So if you're gonna run with like any secrets, just get Mirror Entity.
Yeah, Mirror Entity.
Because basically really it's a 3-cost card that will get you, on average, probably like a greater value card.
Yeah, strategically you need to play it in like the right spot. Once you get up to the top masters, they'll
know.
They'll test it, right?
They'll play a crappy card in the beginning.
Yeah, they'll play
with a battle cry so you don't get it.
Yeah.
Let's say Novice Engineer.
Yeah.
They even have that. And so you get a 1/2. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So Armor Smith, we talked about that already. Gadgets on
Shot.
Auctioneer is a great card. So whenever you cast a spell, draw a card. So
I never can combo it well in the mage because like
all your spells cost a lot. But in like in a priest or a paladin, if you have a lot of spells, it's
and
really
secrets
good.
count as spells. So if you have a secret thing, it's pretty good.
Secret decks that work really well.
Betrayal.
Deadly Shot, destroy 1.
I think that's
destroy random enemy
1
minion.
or 2 in a hunter deck is pretty good because it's essentially a 3-cost that auto kills.
Yeah.
And you're most likely only gonna have like 1 creature.
Yeah,
on the board.
if you have 1 target,
so it's like cool. They
it,
play
right?
like an 8/8 treant thing. Gone.
Yeah, Betrayal is also great removal.
Yeah.
It's a rogue card. Deal the damage to the minions next to it. Okay,
like so if there's 3 on the board and you target the middle one, that one deals it to the outside minion. So basically, you can kill 2 minions for the cost of 1 card.
Yeah.
If you play this right.
Yeah.
So people have to be really conscientious
about
blah, 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 blah.
their placement
Blah,
of
blah, blah.
minions.
Yes, about their placement
Yeah.
and other things.
Against rogue. Well, against something. You should always consider that.
So Blood Imp, you should always have 2 of those, no matter what, in your Warlike deck.
Yeah.
They are too good.
Blood Imps
They
are
are
way
too
too good.
Forked Lightning's pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about before. Your other minions have +1 health.
Yeah.
Divine Favor. I can't remember if I won against that paladin or I lost, but somebody used this to draw like 6 cards one time, and I was like, oh my god, that's actually really good. I would say use Divine Favor in a paladin deck that you have a lot of low cost things, because if you have high cost creatures and high cost spells, chances are you're going to be holding on to a lot of spells.
Yeah. That would be the only scenario in which it's good.
So if you're going for a fast deck, where most of your cards cost less than 4, like say 75% of the cards in your deck cost less than 4, I think Divine Favor is a great addition.
Because players that like use their cards efficiently, like your opponents, will probably use a lot of their cards and keep it at a low count and not accumulate more. So like they're always going to be aware that you could Divine Favor. So I find that if you're playing against a smart player, you won't die. Callmaster.
Also good for drawing cards.
Yeah.
I think in paladin decks and any deck that you have that gets a lot of creatures on the board.
Well, okay, it's good in the scenario where they have a good amount of creatures, or even 1 big creature, and you have a whole bunch of small creatures, and then you put it on the board, and then you sacrifice all your creatures for that kill. 1, or you trade. Mm-hmm. That's the scenario in which Callmaster should be used. Yeah, and it's really good.
And this includes like the little Silverhand Knights that you can summon as paladin.
Yeah.
If they count as the minion, that if they dies, it whatever. Same thing with like Harvest Golem. If your Harvest Golem dies, and you get the card, and then your second Harvest Golem dies, you get another card, right? Yeah. So great. Forked Lightning, deal 2 damage to random enemy minions. Overload 2. So again, this is one of those cards that it's great. It's great on the turn that you play it, but it has that effect, that overload effect.
Yeah.
And I need more experience with Shaman. I'm actually looking forward to flushing the Shaman deck a little more, like flushing my strategy rather. Another Savagery. We've talked about every card here except for Ice Lance, which I've never used.
In a freezing deck, dealing 4 damage could be cool, but if you already play a card that freezes something, then you should probably not be playing another card because it shouldn't take 2 cards to kill a creature.
Normally freezing is to delay.
But I have won games where I Frostbolt, and then Ice Lance them. Yeah. So like that's a good combo. If you're looking to kill them, like Ice Lance can be good, but I don't. Yeah, Feral
another
Spirit,
Feral
another one.
Spirit. The 3 of those this time. It's funny because I already had 2 of them, so
Yeah.
they're all
Scavenging
going to dust.
Hyena gains +2/+1 with a friendly beast dies.
Yep.
Kyle has this amazing video where he paired it with Snake Trap,
Yep.
and it just became this vicious monster.
Becomes like
thing.
I think it was like an 8/6 or something like that.
It's
It's
ridiculous.
crazy.
I think. Would you agree that hunters should always have 2 of them, or just any?
I don't think it's required for a hunter to roll with scavenging hyenas, but they are good.
Yeah.
They do combo really well. So
Stormforged Axe is a shaman, overload 1. It's really good because it's hard to get early game remove. Well, I mean, you want okay. The early game removals with shaman are typically overload. They have overload costs, right? And this one's a kind of a low overload, and it lasts you 3 turns.
Yeah.
So it's a good early game removal, I think.
And it's one of 2 weapons that you could possibly get.
Wind for your
shaman,
Harpy, I hear it's
yeah,
not
it's bad,
good.
bad.
Because it just
Worgen Infiltrator, however,
die.
is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's 2/1, 1 cost stealth. So yeah.
It would have to be some specific class that's in your deck.
Yeah. Abomination.
I haven't
Taunt, Death
seen
Rattle. Deal 2 damage to all characters when it dies. So it's
very vulnerable to
silence. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
then it's just a 4/4.
yeah, it's a very anything with more than 1 creature ability tends to be a really obvious silence target. And look at the Spellbreaker right here. So this would be the obvious counter to this.
Yeah.
And I think the Spellbreaker has much more value.
Yeah.
Yep, Slam we talked about already. Cone of Cold. Freeze a minion and the minions next to it.
I find this really good early, especially if you're facing Warlock and there's a Blood Imp that you can't see. Then you just Cone of Cold what's next to it, and then it dies.
Exactly. It's also really good
Typically.
with anything spell power. So if you've got Cobalt Geomancers, they combo really well. So like if you throw down your Cobalt Geomancer, all of a sudden you're doing 2 damage to a minion and 2 damage to the
Which
minions
could be a
next to
total
it.
of 6 damage.
Yeah, exactly.
To 3 minions,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Redemption we talked about already.
Yeah.
Love that card. Boom. Golden Common. So Battle Rage, draw a card for each damaged friendly character. Now this used to be for each damaged character
On the
which
board.
was crazy.
That could be like, oh my god, that could be everything.
But since the nerf, it's much more reasonable now. It combos really well with what's it called? Whirlwind.
Which
Deals
deals 1
damage to
all
everything. Yeah.
creatures.
So if you've got 3 creatures on the board that are undamaged, you Whirlwind to damage 3 of them and yourself, and then you Battle Rage to draw 4 cards.
Arcane Golem is like the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I don't really
understand. It's like charge, give your opponent a mana crystal, like on a 3 turn, 2 costs.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. It's
I don't see how that could ever be
there
good.
are way better things. Like look at it this way. Animal Companion is a 3-cost thing that gets you a 4/2 charge.
Could be.
And it doesn't give your opponent a mana crystal, right?
And there's like that lion thing that's stealth 4/2. What is it called? 4/2
Jungle Panther.
Jungle Panther.
Yeah.
It's basically this, except it has stealth, so it'll last you till the next turn. Anyway.
Exactly. So I would not roll with this at all. This is a
Spellbender
bad card.
is-
Spellbender is actually my favorite mage secret, and it's when an enemy casts a spell on a minion, rather summon a 1/3 as the new target. So if they say they
Mind
launch
control!
yeah, exactly. if he wants to mind control one of your big creatures, then he gets a Spellbender, or he's pyroblasting your big creature or fireballing it or whatever. It retargets it to the Spellbender, which I
And you
think
get
is
a 1/3 if it doesn't actually kill it.
also,
It's
this
like you
applies to
silence it.
buffs. So let's say you have this secret down, and you're against a paladin, and he
buffs it.
yeah.
Blessing
Blessing of Kings? Yeah. So he casts Blessing of Kings. You get it on your Spellbender.
Oh my god,
It's
that's
awesome.
awesome! I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
know
really
that.
cool.
Jesus, Jeebus, Kyle.
Yeah, and we
The
talked about
Jeebus.
those other 2 already. So on to the next pack. Come on, legendaries. No legendaries. Crazed Alchemist. I've never actually used this before.
It's really situational.
Yeah.
Sometimes you swap an attack just so that you can sack a really low cost creature. 'Cause let's say it's like a 3/5, then you would swap it. Now it's a 5/3, and you just kill it with a 3/2.
Yeah.
And now it's worth it. It's efficient. You traded it for like close cost
Yeah.
card.
So it's
Mana Worm,
Entirely
I've
situational.
seen it like maybe 1 in a mage deck. Like, I rarely see 2 mana worms in a mage deck. It's just because it's like a 1 cost that, you know, takes a lot to kill. It's presence on the board. You can pair it with the Teutons. The Teuton drop, what is it called?
Teuton. The Frost Wolf Grunt?
Oh, no. You summon 0 Teutons.
Oh, the Mirror Image.
Mirror Image. I need, like, all the names in front of me. Because I don't remember all the names. I just remember exactly what they do.
And we talked about these 3 already, so... Mana Worm can be pretty good. I like Mana Worms. Doomguard,
is
Charge,
awesome.
Battle Cry.
I like Doomguard a lot.
Discard 2 random cards. So I think this is
It's
you
good
know,
when you use up all your cards.
Yeah, if
or
you're
you
going
have
for a
cards
rush
that are
deck,
shit,
right?
Yeah.
So if you have a lot of like low cost creatures in your deck, and your deck is based on killing your opponent before turn 6.
If you're Spellbreaker we didn't actually talk about, but that's a really good silence. Like I see it in a lot of top tier decks.
Yeah.
If you are playing
And it's a really good
arena,
arena
you
card
should
too.
pretty much always get that if you see it.
And we talked about everything. You like your space? I like to click things. Whoa!
Oh, what? Whoa! Kyle, that's gonna sell for lots. What is it?
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to sell that. Okay, so
Oh my God. And it's
Malagos.
golden. Do you know
Yeah.
how much that is?
1,600 I could sell it for.
Oh my God. This card,
Plus-
ladies and gentlemen,
Plus
It's
5
1600
spell
deaths.
damage.
it's a 9 cost, 412, plus 5 spell damage.
Mhm.
Dragon Fury thing. Golden. Oh
Awesome.
man, that's so cool.
I know, it looks sick too. Gromish, or is it Gromish Hellscream? Yeah,
Probably
Grom.
has one of these.
I have them. I actually really love Grom. So 8 cost, charge and rage plus 6. So the best thing I like for this is you put down Grom, and then like it's this turn 10. We're stipulating that this is turn 10. And you have a Cruel Taskmaster. Cruel Taskmaster. So you Taskmaster your Gromish
now it's a 10
Hellscream.
charge.
Yeah, and now
10,
you have
10-8.
no, it'd be 12. It'd be 12-8 because the Taskmaster gives it plus 2.
Oh, yeah.
So
12-8,
it becomes a
Jesus.
12-8 charge, which is devastating. If not, it's great for, if you want to remove one creature and then it becomes a 10-8 or
Yeah.
whatever, however much damage it ends up doing it, but like it ends up being 10 damage, so that's great. Dark Iron Dwarf is another amazing all-class common card.
Yeah.
Like one of those must have for your collection common cards. Battle Cry, give plus 2 attack to a minion. For 4 cost, 4/4.
Also good.
So it's
card.
essentially 6/4 for 4 cost.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
And you give it to like a shitty card and trade it for something much
Yeah,
higher.
exactly. And then you can Youthful Brewmaster it back to your hand and do it all over again.
Nothing will be as cool as
Master.
that.
No,
Two
he's had
legendaries.
everything.
Yeah,
in
we
that,
talked
yeah.
about everything. We should disenchant with extra cards at the end and see how much dust we get.
Yep.
Explosive shot.
Shot.
Kyle has one of these in his deck.
Yep. Deal 5 damage to a minion and deal 2 damage to the adjacent one. So this is amazing removal.
Yeah.
You get rid of, you get the kill the big creature in the middle and the
Does
2 small
exactly
creatures
what it
on the
sounds
other
like,
side.
and
Yeah.
it's an explosive shot that does a butt fuck damage to something and a little bits of damage to everything else.
Yeah. That AoE. And then we talked about everything. More legendaries. Mountain Giant.
Mountain
So I got one of
also
each
one of
giant.
my least favorite, because if you get this like late game and you only in your top decking, you have to wait 2 turns without playing anything to
Yeah,
actually play it.
yeah,
This is my
exactly.
least favorite giant, next to the one that we just tried.
The giants are great in Murloc, or sorry, not Murloc decks, Warlock decks. Specifically Warlock decks built around drawing a lot of cards and, the summoning portals, etc., like that kind of stuff. So, if you have 8 cards in your hand, this costs 4 to cast, which is pretty good. And a lot of the times I've
Yeah, but
seen...
Red, you wouldn't have 8. If you have 8 cards in your hand, you're probably not doing a very good job with your deck. Like, I can't imagine that having that much in a Warlock deck would be good.
Yeah, it's... I don't
that's
know.
why I don't like it.
I
Like,
can
it's,
see-
it's
I can
never
see it work.
it's never good because it rewards you for having more cards in your hand, and if you have more cards in your hand, there's a strong possibility if your deck isn't based around it that you're doing a bad job with it. There's some decks that are really good, like some Druid decks that are based around card draw, and probably some Shaman maybe, but like overall, I'd rather have the one that...
Okay, well, let's put it this way. If you want to make this work, the best way to make this card work is with a Warlock deck. Hands down.
Well, I mean, okay.
Okay, so Circle of Healing.
can be.
is amazing. It comboed with the injured Blade Master. Let's call it an Artosis Blade Master.
Yeah, because that was an amazing.
Yeah, and he deserves something that's not the Artosis Pylon. So the Artosis Blade Master is when you, if you play it on turn 3, or you could coin it out on turn 2, and you play the 0-cost Circle of Healing, so that you have a 4/7
on turn 2 or turn 3 at the
which
worst.
is incredible.
It's really good.
Incredible.
Frothing Berserker.
Yeah, that's
I like this a lot.
Yeah, whenever a minion takes damage, that's gain +1 attack. So if the Unbound Elemental attacks the Violet Teacher, you get 2 attack. It becomes a 4/4 exactly.
So it can become something devastating.
Yeah, it can become very, very big, and it's a 3-cost, so it's got a fairly low, like a 3-cost 2/4 is almost worth it just for that. And the fact that it's got this crazy bonus to it is amazing. So we talked about the Unbound Elemental a little bit. Violet Teacher, whenever you cast a spell, summon a 1/1 Violet Apprentice. So in a a 4-cost 3/5 isn't bad on its own. And if you've got a lot of spells in your deck, then why not? I think Violet Teacher is a great addition, especially because it's an all-class card. Yeah. Actually, this was a good pack. 2 rares and an epic. Sweet. Oh, damn it. Got another Equality, Dark Iron, Ironbeak Owl. We actually haven't gotten one of these in the packs. So, Battle Cry, silence a minion.
It's
so
basically a 2/1. Yeah, it's a 2/1 silence. So.
Yeah, this is my favorite all-class card by far. It's the highest value, just because it's got such a low cost with such a huge utility.
I would disagree that it's like the best, but
I said it was my favorite. I didn't say it was the best.
Okay.
And we talked about everything else. Yeah. Would you like to hit spacebar?
Yes. Thank you.
Demolisher, Jungle Panther, Torn Warrior. We haven't seen one of these yet.
You know,
so
I think it's like
an
A- cards.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's all right. It has its moments, especially in mage decks when you can ping it and get the +3 attack. But when it deals 5 damage, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But like, it's not really better than the Armani Berserker, because the Armani Berserker is a 2/3 as well. So, yeah. The only thing is that it doesn't have taunt.
It's an additional 1 drop for taunt, basically.
Yeah. And taunts are overrated.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit overrated. So I'd say the Berserker's better.
Golden Red.
Oh, Shadow Flame. I've never had one of these.
Destroy a friendly minion and deal its attack damage to enemy minions. Warlock. I think it's pretty good. Cool. You can basically clear it board. You can do any amount of damage, area damage, for 4 costs.
Yeah. So let's say you have like one of those Infernos or whatever they're called. Yeah, the 6/6. And you destroy it and deal 6 damage to everything.
And not even that. You can attack with it first and then do it.
Yeah, exactly.
If it doesn't die. Yeah. And if they don't have taunts. It's good.
Master Swordsmith. At the end of your turn, give a random... Yeah, I hate this card. I really don't think it's good at all.
It requires you having other things on the board for it to even work.
Yep. Here's a Pirate, so it has charge if you have a weapon equipped, so it's only really good for Rogue and Warrior.
Mostly Rogue. I wouldn't see it in the other.
Another explosive shot. Injured Blade Master. There you go.
Deals
so Battle
4
Cry.
damage.
Yeah.
So he comes out as a 4/3.
Yeah. But it's a 3-cost. So a 3-cost 4/3 isn't that bad. Plus he has, like, if you have any kind of healing in your deck, then it's perfect. So these guys are great in priest decks. Yeah. Amazing in priest decks. And we've talked about everything. Blam. Spellbender. Ooh, Starfall.
Starfall is really good because it's one of the.
It's a choose one.
Yeah.
Deal 5 damage to a minion or 2 damage to all enemy minions.
Yeah.
So it's pretty straightforward removal, but it's definitely got that utility element to it. Mana Addict. Boo.
Power Overwhelming. I really like that card.
Really?
Because you can pair it. There's one card that. I can't remember what it's called, but it kills the creatures next to it, and then it gains what their stats. So you power overwhelming one of them, attack it,
the Void Terror.
Then you put down your Void Terror, and it gets +4/+4 on top of what's already there. I think it's like such a fun card to play with.
Yeah. Rare. Gadget Song we talked about already. Light Warden is interesting. I rolled with one of these in the in Light of Cab deck. But to be honest, I don't really think this is all that great. Since it's got such a low health, it's really hard to keep this thing alive.
And it's not permanently, right? Is it?
Yeah, it is. It is gain 2 attack permanently.
Wouldn't it be good in the priest deck?
Yeah, it is. It is good in a priest deck, and if you can keep it alive, the problem is keeping it alive. Like most of the time, it dies.
Yeah.
Most of the time, these things don't get off the ground, and everybody's like smart enough to remove it. But I think for a 1-cost 1/2 with this power, like it's great early game. I just wouldn't have more than 1 in your deck.
1-drop cards you should be wary of too, because like, you know, for 95% of the game you have more than, not 95, 90% of the game you have more than 1 mana.
Yeah.
So you might as well use that additional mana. And the best 1-card drop, well, that's common, would be the Northshire, not the Northshire. Let's go. Priest, 1/3 heal.
Oh yeah, that is the Northshire cleric.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were right for a change.
I was right. You're like, you looked at me as if I was wrong. And you're like, Corinne.
That's not what it's called. No, it is.
Northshire cleric.
Alright, last pack. Let's get some legendaries. Now. Ooh, a Cobalt Shadow Priest. Awesome, because I wanted to talk about this.
Okay.
Take control of an enemy minion that has 2 attack or less. So that's a free Gurubashi Destroyer.
Yeah.
A free fresh Gurubashi Destroyer. Also, there are many times where they have, you know, a smaller creature that's got some kind of benefit, like Mana Wraith is a bad
No,
example,
okay.
but
You talk about that, then I'll talk about Mana Wraith.
yeah, essentially you just steal a good low cost card.
And it could be a 2/7 fucking
That's what I said, Gurubashi Destroyer.
Gurubashi Destroyer. Okay, so the Mana Wraith, if you see this in Arena, it's really good. I've always had success with it. It's never cost me anything. It's never done any harm. It's only ever done me good.
Yeah.
Because if you coin this out, everything costs more. It's now turn 2, and if they want to play like any combination of creatures, it exponential, well, not. It's literally cost them 1 more, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, they have like 5 mana, and now they can't play 2 creatures. They can only play 1 now.
So if you get it out nice and quickly, it screws up
really
the pacing of your opponent, which tends to give you a big advantage and lets you win in like the
it's a
later
2/2 for 2, which isn't bad.
last one here is the Spiteful Smith. Enraged, your weapons have +2 attack. Now
I don't like it because
don't like this at all either.
it's-
So it's a 5-cost 4/6 that has, it's incredibly situational. It has to be damaged.
You rarely have a weapon that does well enough.
Yeah, exactly. And weapons are good enough on their own that they really don't need +2 attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 40 packs, and let's see how much dust we have to disenchant. Wow.
2,235.
So 2 legendary you can get rid of, because that's the Gromish that I had, and the Baron Geddon, 1 epic, 660. Wow, 135 commons that I already disenchant. Well, at least I have enough to buy an entire. I've got enough to buy another legendary.
Yep.
Okay, so thanks for watching. That's a fairly long video of, you know, just us talking about the cards we see. We might do another one of these too. Alright.
Bye.
Alright.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.